Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys a big video on Anthony Martial. Yes, you guys, I do have some exclusive news that I can finally reveal after such a long time. But before I get straight into the video, you guys know what to do. Smash that like button. I'm going to be doing something different today. If I can get 1,500 likes for today's video, I will be releasing the Leon Bailey video on Saturdays. So if you guys want that video out quickly, smash that like button. Help me get more than 1,500 likes for today's video. And don't forget, press that bell notification button as well to stay tuned to all things Blue Lines TV. Now you guys, I'm just going to be doing a brief introduction before I start the main video. Now of course you guys, a lot of you would have already known, especially if you watch my live streams etc, that I have been alluding a lot to Chelsea interest in Anthony Martial, of course in reports as well. Matt Law has also been alluding to the fact that we are interested in Anthony Martial. Now I have been forced to make this video due to the fantastic news that did come out late last night in regards to Anthony Martial's agent. Throughout this video, I'm going to be providing greater context to quotes that his agent released. Plus, I'm going to be letting you guys know all of the details and news I have been hearing over the past 3 weeks surrounding Anthony Martial. As I said, he is a confirmed target for the club. Of course, things will be changing in the future. This is how news works, so just keep that in the back of your minds. I think too many people listen to videos like this, they forget most of the points I make, and all they're thinking about in the back of their head is, oh, this guy's coming. And they just completely dismiss all of the news and the information and the context as well. But I'm rambling on too much, getting straight into the video. Starting with the statements released by Martial's agent. Martial's agent is called Philippe Lamboe, and yesterday he did contact RMC Sport to discuss Martial's future. Philippe stated that after Martial considered all of the possibilities, he does want to leave Manchester United. Philippe states that today, Anthony is disappointed because he has shown for 3 seasons the love he had for the club and his supporters. Besides, I can tell you that without the unconditional support of the fans, Anthony would have already asked to leave United. However, Anthony got hooked, he showed great professionalism, he was successful. I think he has done his best for 3 years. It is important to remember that this season he has scored 11 goals and gave 10 assists in 5 months. He was elected 3 times Player of the Month by the fans. Then arrived the transfer window of January. I will not comment on the consequences of his transfer window. Everyone will have his opinion. I think he must resume the course of his career. The time has come. Now reporters did question Philippe in regards to foreign interest from clubs and Martial's plans. And this is what Philippe had to say back to them. Anthony has the choice. I cannot say anything on the subject at the moment, but for a player like Martial, you can imagine a lot of interest from clubs. The only thing I can say is many coaches appreciate his profile and want him for their projects. And today, this question isn't important. Anthony wants to play. Find pleasure, feeling with the coach will be essential. And just one more interesting quote that was released during this press conference. I think that when Manchester United, which is the most powerful club in the world, it must be remembered, if they do not find an agreement in 8 months of negotiations, it is because they do not really want to make him an important member of the team. Now, just to provide some context in regards to these quotes. Now, the first thing that you guys need to realize is Chelsea have already opened dialogue with Martial and his agent 3 weeks ago. Why does Martial want to leave? Well, going back to quotes earlier brought up about the January transfer window, of course, we know what he's implying. Alexis Sanchez obviously took a place on him out the squad. And of course, we know Mourinho, he's always going to prefer the more expensive, experienced style of player. Of course, we know the statement he made about the 8 months. We know that they have been negotiating with Martial for a long time in regards to him trying to sign a renewal. He doesn't want to do that. They didn't really sell to him that he is going to be an important member. And now to delve into the exclusive stuff. Now, during that conference, Philippe did speak in admiration in regards to Manchester United. And I can tell you guys this, Philippe tried very, very hard to try and persuade Martial to stay at Manchester United. And this was the main reason as to why I haven't released a Martial video within the 3 weeks, because when I heard that information, I wanted to hear an update. So this was why yesterday's news was massive. Anyway, you might be thinking, why did Philippe want Martial to stay? The main reason for that was the fact that Chelsea aren't going to pay him very high agent fees. Of course, when he had discussions with the club, he didn't like that he wouldn't be earning much from the deal, and this is why he's been trying to persuade Martial to stay at United and obviously sign a new contract. Like, he really pushed for Martial to stay. He tried to sell him the dream of obviously planning for the future. He brought up the reality that Mourinho might not be here forever. There's a possibility he can be sacked. Wait for him to be sacked and stay at the club. And also his teammates have been speaking to him to try and persuade him to stay at Man United as well. And that's something I have been told. And again, I keep stressing this is why it's big news that Martial has finally come out and stated that he wants to leave. Obviously not listening to his agent. He's telling his agent, I don't want us to talk to United anymore. I want to leave the club. Help me find somewhere else. But there's more information I can give you guys. I know a lot of people won't believe me. I don't really care. I have convictions and obviously believe in my sources as well. Martial wants a London move and he wants to come to Chelsea. Now, during the 3 weeks I was hearing information on Martial, one of the stipulations that was brought up by Martial was the fact that he does want to play as a number 9. That's one of his main reasons as to why he's going to join the potential club he does. And at the time, Chelsea weren't against the idea, but they couldn't really guarantee him any assurances that he would be able to play as a number 9. But I have been told that Chelsea will let him play as a number 9 if he does sign. And I do have more information, and you guys, you know, with me, I like to make sure I can get as much info as possible to paint the clearest picture of what's happening in the moment. A lot of times when people read news, they think that something that was said 2 weeks ago is going to be the same a month later. That's not the realities of that. If you lose those expectations, then you'll get more from these videos. Now, a week and a half ago, I was told that the chances of bringing Martial to Chelsea weren't very high, as I brought up earlier the fact that his agent was trying to push him to stay at United to sign a new contract, and also another stumbling block was the asking price that Man United wanted, and that's £70 million. Now, when it comes to asking price, that's something I'm going to be delving into deeper later in this video, so just stay tuned. But the reason as to why it's so expensive is that Martial, obviously his contract ends in 2019, but there's a clause in this contract where United can activate a further year, and this is why the price has been pushed up so high. Now, for this part of the video, I'm going to be diving into some possible questions you guys might be thinking in your heads. Plus, I'm going to be discussing how the pricing could work, interest from other clubs, and the professional opinions of my sources. One thing I forgot to say in the early part of this video is that both my sources have confirmed Chelsea's interest in Martial, so this is concrete. Just starting with other clubs interested in Martial, one club I 1000% know are interested in Martial is Spurs. The reports in the media are true, but also Inter Milan, Juventus, Atletico Madrid if the potential move for Cavani does fall through, and possibly Paris Saint-Germain could all be interested in Martial. But for the sake of this video, and because the interest from Chelsea and Spurs is much more concrete compared to the other clubs, I'm only going to be talking about Spurs in this video. Now, before I start talking about the price, of course, there's one thing that has come out and I can confirm by the source. United are not happy at all by the fact that Martial did announce that he does want to leave. And why aren't they happy? Well, they're not happy because now clubs know that Martial is available. That means that United can't command the £70 million that they would like to command. So United won't have as much pulling power. And as I keep stressing all the time, this is why it's big news that Martial has formally come out and stated that he does want to leave. But anyway, getting back to hypotheticals in terms of how a transfer could work, and as I said, I spoke to my source to try and get a really good understanding of how this could potentially go. And of course, one player at Chelsea could play a massive part. And the reality of this situation is Mourinho will want a replacement for Martial. Another reality that we have to accept is that next year for Mourinho is going to be massive. If he doesn't succeed with United, there's a massive possibility he is going to be sacked. And Mourinho needs to start showing things. He needs to try and win a league title. With Mourinho, he's going to be relying on older, experienced players to help him get the short-term goals that he needs. This is why you can see him telling United to go back in for Willian. Now, you might be thinking, could Willian be open to leaving? He has stated that he would like to stay. At this moment, there's nothing concrete I can tell you guys in regards to knowing Willian's future. You guys know, we've read it in the press. Willian has stated that he would like to be here for next season. But when he's making those comments, he's not talking about potential interest of Man United. Now, during the last summer, Willian said to Goal.com that in regards to Man United interests, he likes me a lot. I like him a lot as a coach and a person. He has put his trust in me and in my work. I'm grateful to him. Manchester came to me, they talked with my agent, but nothing happened because Chelsea would not negotiate me in any way, and I'm very happy at Chelsea. Again, you guys, Chelsea blocked the deal for Willian to leave to Manchester United. And let's not forget the one massive big thing, Willian hasn't been offered a new contract just yet, and he only has a year left. Now, some of you guys might be thinking, maybe it seems a bit too unlikely that we could do a player deal for Martial. But I can tell you guys this from my source, and he said that Chelsea and Man United do have a good business relationship. Of course, when we sold Matic to United last summer, things were very seamless, was very smooth, and was very easy. And I have been told by my sources' educated opinion that there's a massive possibility that Willian could be part of a deal to obviously bring Martial to Chelsea. That way Mourinho wouldn't feel that he's missing out on much. Willian will get to play for a manager that rates him and enjoys his work. Plus, it should reduce the fee of the transfer. And as Willian has shown, he isn't opposed to joining Manchester United and working under Mourinho again. He told me expect something like Willian plus 30 million to try and bring in Martial. But before you guys get excited and let your imaginations run, just remember the realities of football. Things change. For example, there is interest from Man United for Gareth Bale. Let's say they were potentially able to bring Gareth Bale from Madrid to United. That means interest for Willian isn't going to be there because they won't need him. And that means that it would only be a cash deal for Martial. Or there's another possibility, and God forbid, if Willian got injured during the World Cup, that could really put off United from obviously following their interest for him. But you guys, when it comes to Chelsea and Martial, we do currently have the advantage over other clubs. Number one, we've guaranteed to Martial that we will play him as a number 9, and that's what other clubs can't guarantee at the moment. For example, Tottenham are very interested. Pochettino is a big admirer of Martial, but they have Harry Kane playing up front. Now, there's a possibility that Pochettino could create a system where Martial and Kane can play together, but then do you want Ali and Eriksen out wide? Probably not. Of course, Martial could just replace Son in the team and continue from the left-hand side, but Martial wants to play as a number 9, so that does give us the advantage. Now for the second selling point, and at this moment it still is just a hypothetical, but it's a very realistic hypothetical, and that's the fact that Alvaro Morata could potentially be leaving this summer. He is currently the number 9 at Chelsea. If he does go, which is looking likely, that would free the number 9 shirt for Anthony Martial. And Martial does have a brand, it is AM9. And this is actually why he started questioning his future at Man United. Of course, when they signed Ibrahimovic, they did take Martial's shirt number and give it to Ibra without the consent of Martial. It was out of his hands and he felt very, very disrespected. During the time a few years back, I think 2 years ago, his agent came out in the press to obviously express how Martial was feeling and how he wasn't feeling very motivated as well. That messed up a lot of things with the Martial camp because they were planning to do a big marketing campaign around him. Of course, they wanted him to be a brand, just like how Ronaldo is CR7. They wanted Martial to be AM9. But quickly, you guys, just getting back to Spurs, I was told by my source too that there's a big possibility that Spurs would look to use Alderweireld interest from Man United in a potential player plus cash deal of their own. But you guys, I think when it comes to signing Martial, it's not going to be a case of who has the most money. It's going to be a case of what can you sell to Martial. And currently, he likes that Chelsea have accepted his proposals and he would like to join Chelsea. That's one thing I have been told. But Nini, you were speaking about Martial's agent being a stumbling block before, saying that he tried to stop him from signing for Chelsea. Yes, but because Martial has stated that he does want to leave, it is out of the agent's hands. And his agent isn't as powerful as other super agents, so he can't command as much as he wants. So it's something that he'll just have to suck up and take. But anyway, you guys, that's gonna end today's video. I'm not gonna lie, I'm personally feeling excited. Martial's the guy I want. I want this guy up front. I'm just thinking about the interchange between Hazard and Martial, and it's just beautiful, especially if it's under Sarri board as well. My God, I mean, imagine how fluid that front three is going to be. The most lubricated front three. It can just literally slide in through any defense. Again, you guys, before I end this video, one reality to remember is the fact that A Martial deal won't be done in a week or two. It's going to be a very long negotiation. It's going to take a lot of time. I'm sure Martial's agent is going to get him to speak to a lot of clubs to try and find the best one for him. Just remember, have those expectations in your head that this will be a very long deal. Anyway, you guys, I'm going to keep it moving. Smash that like button. As I said, if I get 1,500 likes, I will release that Leon Bailey video on Saturday. Press the bell notification button. Thank you for watching. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Line CV. Signing out.